guys, welcome to the Mr.Redcoat podcast. They're only going to be like short podcasts. They're not going to be like really long ones where it's like Joe Rogan and that level. So I'm going to run out of stories soon, but anyways, right. So what we're discussing today is the first podcast is my channel basically, Redcoats. So basically Redcoats were British soldiers from the 1640s maybe to the 1910s or the 1880s if you want to go as far back. But what I think's quite fascinating about Redcoats is that the weaponry they used to use, muskets. We use muskets nowadays, but they're not as popular as they were. Because Redcoats kind of still exist in the British Army and maybe other armies, but what I know of just the British Army. And so I think it's quite fascinating that they have that, just that thing. But also what I find, with Redcoats, it's a bit hard to explain because they are so Redcoats, obviously I explained, they're obviously British soldiers from years on and years on. So the fought wars like the Zulu Wars, but what they did that was pretty stupid. When they did their marches, they never stopped until half of the army was dead, because I understand they had to do their traditional march. They did the march, the infantry march, with the Great British Grenadiers. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but march, and so I've just lost my trail of thoughts. They had to do the marching, but then when they stopped, at least half of the soldiers were dead, and most of the other half was alive because they were the ones shooting, and they seen them coming, and they were like, fire, 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 fire. Because the British could have just stopped where they were. They could have got the muskets out and they could have shot them, but they don't necessarily do that because I don't know, but it's just how they do stuff. As I say, we fought the Zulu Wars. But But what is quite tactical and quite good is they used to do. Oh, have I got a piece of paper lying around? Right. It's not the best example, but let's say right, so I've got an example. So don't mind that because I drew on this page, but it doesn't matter. So can you see that? So the Redcoats are there, and then so if I best use a proper pen. And that's the surrounding bit. The Redcoats could just as you can see, the Redcoats will just the squiggly lines are the Redcoats, and they're gonna defeat them because they're making an infantry square. So they was in tactical forms. Yes, they were good, but in normal marching, taking the time, it wasn't good. They weren't really good at taking the time, because what they used to do was, well, yeah, they did take the time, but they did it a bit too slow, if you get me. They did it too slow, so when the army, when well, let's say Axis, like enemy. When the enemy came towards them, as I said before, they didn't stop. They just kept going and going until half of them were dead, done with. But as I say, that is Redcoats for you. I'll be making another podcast soon. It's only like a 5-minute thing I've been doing until I get more storage. But anyways, as I say, Rule Britannia and goodbye, friends. Make sure, please subscribe because, please just support me because I've been in this channel since 2019 and but I'm very thankful that for the subscribers I do have, just let you know that. But yeah. Alright, have a nice one. See you later, boy.